Well, hey there, guys. Welcome back to Garage Football, and this is our very first live stream. So let's see how it goes. We've just watched Man United v Arsenal. Arsenal getting the win 1-0. Aubameyang with a penalty. Their first win against a Big Six rival since 2015 against Man City. Thoroughly deserved the win. Is our match thoughts. Let us know your thoughts in the live chat and in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new. So, guys, Lou and Ryan, obviously Arsenal fans, must be well happy with that. Lou, what are your thoughts on the overall performance today?
Yeah, really happy, Bill, as you can imagine. I thought it was very rare that we go away to, as the records show, it's very rare that we go away to any Big Six club and perform well at their stadium. So to do it against United at Old Trafford, I thought was absolutely fantastic. I thought we were brilliant the first half, absolutely squeezed the life out of them. It was almost like, teams worlds apart in terms of quality, wasn't it? And then Man United made a good tactical change second half and sort of brought themselves much more in the game. So overall, really happy. Some players that stood out for me were Elneny and Partey in the middle of the park. I think usually you look to your stars, don't you? Your Lacazettes, your Aubameyangs, etc., to be the sort of the real standout performers. And Gabriel as well. Actually, it was all kind of our defensive sort of defensive mind players that seem to really stand out and really go to town tonight. So really happy with that. I think it showed a lot of discipline, which we've lacked in recent years. So first clean sheet for a while as well. So I think overall really happy.
Good stuff. What about you, Ryan?
Oh yeah, I was way over the moon, mate. Arsenal obviously started off sharper, really good in the first half. We're pressing, but they just couldn't execute in the first half, could they? They had some chances, but didn't really create anything. No shots on target. Well, had a few opportunities where, Lacazette kind of thought the ball didn't exist, just went past him. But no, on the whole, especially coming into the second half, I thought Man United the first 5 to 10 minutes was sort of pressing Arsenal again. I thought, here we go, typical Arsenal. They've had a good first half. Now Man United are going to destroy us. But after that, we did well. Aubameyang scored that goal, and I think it's the first time in years that we've seen Arsenal go to Old Trafford and pretty much dominate. So it was quite refreshing to see that.
Oh, absolutely. So let's get into the first half then. I think, as you guys said, I think the first 15 minutes in particular, Arsenal just absolutely squeezed the life out of Man United. And when United tried to play out from the back and try and beat that Arsenal press, they couldn't do it, could they? And Partey and Elneny in particular in midfield, I thought were both brilliant and helped with Arsenal's interceptions and getting Arsenal out the pitch.
Yeah, definitely. I thought they were sort of integral, weren't they, to those transitions as well, from taking it from our half to the attacking third. I think you can see that's obviously what the manager wants us to do long term. I feel like at the moment we kind of, we've regressed a little bit in that it seems like the manager's kind of found that midfield star that he wants in Partey, and now is obviously adjusting the team again around that to start doing what he wants to. So I think maybe that might be why we're not as effective in the final third as we have been, kind of thing over recent months. So I think it might be a bit of a transition stage, but you can see with those sort of players like Gabriel, who's always looking to pass forward. Like you and I were talking on texture in the game, weren't we, Bill, about Elneny and Partey sort of just absolutely controlling the game from that middle of the park. And to be fair, the front three pressing at the start of the first half I thought were really impressive as well. It was a team press, wasn't it? It wasn't just one guy almost man to man chasing. It was a real high team press. So I thought it was a really a lot of discipline was showed as well to kind of keep that intensity up as well.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if only one or two of your strikers or just your general players are pressing and there's gaps in midfield, then it obviously it's going to collapse and it doesn't work. Whereas, as you say, Lou, the front three press really well. And, when I did get in midfield with Fred and McTominay was on the right of the diamond, Pogba and Fernandes could barely touch it. And then it ended up with Greenwood and Rashford as the front two. They had to come into United's own half to actually get the ball. So Ryan, you must have been happy with Arsenal's discipline, throughout the game, but particularly that first half.
Oh, absolutely, and especially defensively as well. Not that Man United gave Arsenal many chances, but yeah, they're certainly keeping their composure now. And I think Partey, like you said, Lewis, is certainly was pulling the strings, wasn't he? And yeah, I think Arsenal are sort of building a team around him. I think that's what Simeone did at Atletico. He kind of built the team around him as well. That's why I think he was gutted when Arsenal signed him last minute. But defensively, I know some Arsenal fans are saying it's getting a bit boring to watch occasionally. But let's be honest, for years we've been complaining about Arsenal's defence. I'm not saying it's perfect, but that's an area that we've needed to improve. So it was good to see both sides today, and also Aubameyang. Let's face it, this year he's had a lot of pressure because he's not really delivered since he's signed that contract. But I think he was, I know it was only a penalty that he scored, but I thought he was on form today.
Yeah. And Bill, sorry, just for some counterbalance, because I know obviously two Arsenal fans. I mean, where would you say what you mentioned a minute ago is where it went wrong for United in the first half? I mean, what do you think? What would have inspired Ole to choose a diamond formation? Do you think it looked like it was wrong from the offset? I mean, what would you say? Where did it sort of go wrong for them at the start?
Yeah, I thought the formation, I think, was simply to try and get Pogba and Fernandes in the team. And it just really didn't work at all. It looked so out of shape. They didn't look comfortable when they had the ball. I mean, you give Fred, who's not really a ball-playing midfielder, he's at the base of the diamond. And whenever he got the ball, he can't take one touch and pass. He's not that kind of player. Again, what should United have signed him? That's another debate. But whenever had the ball, Partey and Elneny just squeezed the life out of him, and they couldn't beat the Arsenal press, could they? McTominay on the right-hand side of the diamond looked so uncomfortable. It was ridiculous. And he kept trying to play next to Fred. And McTominay's not that sort of player who can just, drift in wide areas. He's not that kind of player. And I'm amazed that Van der Beek didn't at least come on at half-time. We've had a comment there in the chat, Football Access. Thanks for your comment, mate. Saying Van der Beek should start, and yeah, you kind of think, well, what else does he need to do to actually start in this side? But I think that's the problem with Solskjaer's guy. He's got Pogba, Fernandes, got to fit them in. Van der Beek, should he just play McTominay instead of Fred? A lot of questions that need to be sort of answered, and it's obviously not going very well, especially at home this season for him.
And in terms of like United's sort of United have been criticised, haven't they, for a long time about their sort of transfer policies and the type of players. I mean, Ryan, if we jump to you for this one, I mean, do you think United are signing lots of good midfielders, but as Bill's mentioned, none of them can get in the team, or they can't find a way to accommodate them all. So, do you think Man United made a mistake in maybe trying to bring Donny van der Beek in? I mean, what do you think was the idea behind it? Where do you think they would have tried to fit him in? Do you think it's one of those ones that's destined to go wrong?
Yeah, possibly. I just think it's I think where Man United.
Well, it looks like we lost you a little bit there, Ryan.
Yeah, no, I think where Man United's concerned, this is the good thing with live, it's streaming, we clash. But I think the good thing with Man United, what's wrong with Man United at the moment, it's not so much the players or the signings. Yes, there's a debate there. I think for me, although I don't follow Man United on a regular basis like I do with Arsenal, but there seems to be a lack of process there. I don't know what the mould is or who they've got. You've got Pogba, who's kind of a big, It's the joys of live, eh? But I think it's tough to really sort of put an answer to that. I think it's just I think they just lack process. I think that's what it is at the moment. They've certainly got the players. I just don't know if he's confident with what formation he's going to use, who he's going to adapt around. He's got Pogba, who's his centre player, but I just think, I think questions have to be answered now. It's not so much the players. I just think is Solskjaer the man for the job, and this is their worst form since 1972 at home. Anyway, there's going to be a relegation sort of battle for Man United this year if they're not careful. So I think the question really is Solskjaer the man to motivate the players he's got, as opposed to the signings he's going to get?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. That's something for certainly another video.
I mean, what do you think about that, Bill?
Well, whether Solskjaer's the man for him. Well, I mean, I think he can certainly do better with the players he's got. They finished off last season great, but this season's been terrible. Apart from that, the Champions League. So, obviously, Pochettino's still waiting in the wings to find the job, and things continue as they are. I think the vulture's going to surround Ole Gunnar Solskjaer even further. So towards the end of the first half, Arsenal eventually create some chances. Willian hit the bar, and Saka should have scored just before half time with a free header from about 8 yards out. I mean, Lou, coming to you. Obviously, the first quarter or so, Arsenal were dominated but didn't create the chances. But at least towards the end of the first half, they were actually making those chances, just didn't convert them.
Yeah, definitely. We made a lot of progress, I thought. The last sort of, again, it's not a great spell, but sort of the last 5 or 6 minutes, we started to kind of get that kind of free-flowing attack that you want from a team, and started to create openings in the United defence. We've been lacking, haven't we, in the last couple of games? You can start to see where we're in this sort of transition period since we bought Partey. I think we've been lacking in that final third product, and the stats basically show that, don't they, pretty comfortably, that we're not, we're dominating possession, we're doing the philosophy that the manager wants, but we're just not kind of creating things as much as we'd like. But towards that, as you say, Bill, yeah, definitely, towards the end of that first half, I thought Willian was unlucky with that crossbar strike. And like you say, I think Saka, he's still young, isn't he? He's still kind of getting used to being the first team. I think he'll improve that part of his game as time goes on as well. He's not the tallest or most physically imposing of players, is he? But he's obviously, I'm sure he can. There's lots of things he's got a lot of time to develop as well that he'll want to sort of push on with. So, I thought towards the end of that first half we started making strides and actually breaking United down, because it's well and good pressing the opposition and stealing the ball, but if you're not doing anything with it or you're not creating clear-cut on-target chances, then it doesn't really matter, does it? We can see with United, when you've got Rashford and Greenwood, as we did see in the first half, didn't we, with that counter-attack they had when Rashford played that through ball. It only takes one mistake, and a counter-attacking team like United can hurt you. So, I thought I was really glad with the way we finished the half, and I thought we didn't gas out, we didn't have tired legs after a sort of really intense 45. So I was really pleased overall.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think from a United point of view, the only time, as you say, Lou, the only time it looked actually threatening in that first half was when they went sort of old school, a bit direct, play the ball in behind Arsenal's defence. Greenwood had a shot that was well saved by Leno at the near post, and that was kind of it in the first half for United, wasn't it? And I think that just showed that the formation just didn't work for them. And if you're playing a diamond, the sort of fullbacks have got there's got to be an onus on them to get forward. Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, they couldn't really get forward that much because they were pinned back by Arsenal's wing backs, Bellerin and Saka, weren't they?
Yeah, I thought Saka had I think Bellerin and Saka both had a really good game, but Saka really impressed me, especially in those one-to-ones with Wan-Bissaka. I thought down that side, there was some really good one-on-one exchanges there. I think they kept the pressure up and kept, even when we lost the ball, we kept forcing a lot of pressure on Wan-Bissaka to make mistakes. So, I thought there was really good wing-back exchanges in this game, I thought.
Yeah, there was definitely, right. So, obviously, a half-time 0-0. And then get the second half. United, they changed their formation, went to more of a 4-2-3-1. Fred and McTominay holding this time, and straight away they were far better in the opening exchanges in the second half. But Wan-Bissaka's had a shot that was deflected wide. But even so, Arsenal still threatening. Rashford gave it away. Lacazette played it to Aubameyang, who curled it wide. And he thought, well, that's the one chance that Aubameyang's going to get in this game, and he just went wide. What thoughts, Ryan, on how Arsenal started in the second half?
I'm not sure if Ryan might be lagging a little bit behind by the looks of things.
I'll come to you, Lou, instead.
Yeah, sure. Well, I thought Man United could be really, really happy with the start of the second half. I thought as soon as they come out of the blocks, they had a lot more width. I thought they looked a lot more comfortable when they had a much more dimensions. They could stretch the play a bit. So I think that I'm sure if you're a United fan, when it's still 0-0 and they come out playing like they did in the second half, I think that's a lot more like what you'd expect from them, wouldn't it? So I'm sure they, the United fans were happy with that start, definitely. I think I don't think we asserted ourselves in the same way. Maybe it's because trying to conserve some energy for the last sort of 10-15 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
And when you can't, there's only so much, isn't there? You're still top tier Premier League teams, with world class players. I'm sure there's only so long you can maintain intensity like that. So and knowing Arteta in the way that we do with his kind of technical mindset, I'm sure he wanted to manage the game a bit as well. So maybe just let United kind of start. I guess maybe playing more counter attacking and just kind of let them pass the ball around. But yeah, I think overall from the start, I think we could have potentially been a bit more aggressive again, put them under from the go again. But with any game, you know what it's like, Bill. There's always ebb and flow, isn't there? It's very rarely completely dominant. There's always peaks and troughs. So I don't know what you thought about the opening, but I would say United would have been happier of the two teams at the start.
Yeah, but they didn't create a huge amount though. Let's bring Ryan back in. But even though United played a little bit better at the start of the second half, they didn't create a huge amount apart from maybe that effort by Wan-Bissaka, but it weren't a relentless, chance after chance, was it?
No.
And Aubameyang had that effort, and then just as we're getting in towards the last stages, Arsenal get a penalty. Pogba fouled Bellerin. Straightforward decision for you?
Yeah, I think it was clear, and both guys pretty much looked, resigned to the idea. I think Bellerin knew there was big contact on the Achilles, and Pogba sort of knew it straight away, didn't he?
Yeah, he didn't. No.
I think I wanted to ask you about this, Bill, and I think they were saying it on the commentary, but I feel like the one thing that teams were lacking was a bit of initiative to sort of take a risk. And I feel like Bellerin took the risk to make that overlapping run and come back. Yeah. And I think it paid off. I think he, forced Pogba to kind of make a bit of a rash challenge off the back of taking a risk.
Yeah, well, if you're going to score, you need to obviously make forward runs, pass forward. And we didn't really see that at all in the game last Saturday. United Chelsea, which 0-0. This was a far better game, even though there was only one goal in it. But there's far more chances and more risk, especially by Arsenal with the chance they created. I mean, there was a lot of talk that Arsenal were solid defensively, and there was a lot more structures there play, but they weren't creating a lot of chances. Whereas today, they found the perfect balance.
Yeah, it's exciting going forward to see, week after week as the games go on, how we start adapting to it. Because I think with the way we had been playing before, obviously, missing that kind of link that obviously the manager wants, now having it, I think it'll be interesting to see going forward. And I mean, to be honest with you, who would have thought El Neni would have been in the starting lineup like he was? But I don't want to keep going on about him, but he impressed me so much.
No, it wasn't meant.
Just his aggression, I just thought he always wanted to run with the ball or make a forward pass, or I think it was that famous United story, wasn't it? Was it? I can't remember if it was Roy Keane and Rio Ferdinand, but Keane telling Rio, you don't make the easy passes at United. You make, the aggressive ones that make moves. And I feel like we took a bit of that philosophy, and with El Neni, he was always making something. Even at the sort of stoppage time at the end, we were all sort of low block, and he was the one guy sprinting around the field, closing down and trying to win things still. I thought as a fan, I can't really criticise too much, just maybe that our final third product. But Bill, the one thing obviously I was curious, what do you think about, towards the end of the game, United obviously were sort of running out of ideas, and obviously we're struggling to break Arsenal down. What did you think of the sort of old school long balls into the box kind of thing? I mean, what was your thoughts on that?
Well, I just think that summed up how poor United played today. There was no structures to their play. There was no passing patterns. There was no width whatsoever, and they just resorted to lumping the ball in the box from set pieces and trying to get Maguire to head the ball in the goal. He got close a couple of times, but with the technical players they've got on the show, they should be doing a lot better with the players they've got on the pitch and on the ones off the bench as well. But they create nothing of note, and it was disappointing. I'm not even a Man United fan, but that was just so disappointing to watch. Just from a purist point of view, Arsenal deserved to win by far, and if they didn't win today, I think it just wouldn't have been a travesty if they didn't win. Anyway, Ryan's back. So obviously, coming up to 20 minutes to go, Aubameyang tucks away the penalty well. Was you still confident that Arsenal could hold on and potentially even score more?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me back, guys. My Wi-Fi just went then. The joys of live. Yeah, no. It was a weird game really, because like I say, Arsenal pretty much dominated, and I think again in the second half, and we deserved that goal. We deserved it. It was only a penalty, but we deserved to be 1-0 up. So you do sometimes think, okay, what's going to happen now? Are the defence going to sort of mess up, capitulate, and then Man United come and beat us 2-1? Because let's be honest, Lou, that's what always happens generally, isn't it? Man United. Yeah. But to be fair, we held our own. And yeah, I mean, Partey was an absolute beast today. Like I say, some great shots and opening plays. And, I think the partnership with Aubameyang and Lacazette was good. A couple of unfortunate misses, etc. But yeah, to answer your question, Bill, I was quite confident. I thought we could have maybe tried to go for another goal, but I'll take the 1-0 to the Arsenal.
Yeah, old school. Yeah, 1-0 to the Arsenal. So, well, as we mentioned, United barely created anything, and after a few crosses in the box, set piece, etc., Arsenal dealt with them well enough, and full time finished 1-0 to the Arsenal, as you say, Ryan. Old school. So let's wrap this chat up. So. So Lou, we're coming to you first. I mean, as mentioned at the start, Arsenal's first win away at a Big Six rival since Man City in, I think, 2015. I think it was. I think it was an absolute perfect away performance, in my opinion. What were your thoughts overall?
Yeah, overall, really, really impressed. Really happy. Again, the sort of defensive aspect of our game really impressed me. The discipline, everyone knowing their roles. Again, you and I were chatting during the game, Bill, about Gabriel, how good he was. Even when he's on a yellow card, you think this could go wrong. He was still making brave challenges and not making stupid ones. There was, so I thought he was excellent. I thought there's a lot for us to be proud of. I know obviously we weren't necessarily playing United at their best, but then again, that could be down to us being exceptional today. I don't think we've seen many, Arsenal performances like that in recent years. So. Really happy, really impressed. That I think prior to this game we'd only had one clean sheet in our last 11, so I think it was a big thing, especially against strikers like Rashford and Greenwood. I think it shows that we can do it against bigger teams, and we're definitely moving in the right steps. I'd like to see a big improvement in that last third. I know, obviously, like we said, it's a bit of a transition now with the sort of players that the manager wants and sort of build a team around. I'd be intrigued to see what we end up doing long term with Lacazette and Aubameyang. Obviously, they have a great partnership for hold up play and interlink, and you can tell they go well. Aubameyang looks like I don't know if it's since he signed the contract, but obviously he hasn't been quite himself, coming in from that left. So, going forward, do we make a couple of adjustments? Do we bench one of them? Do we try playing Aubameyang more central? Or, there's a couple of questions there, I'd say, to keep it balanced, rather than completely rose-tinted glasses, because without that penalty, we might have only been 0-0.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I think overall, really happy with the performance, really happy with the team. And I'd just like to see going forward some sort of idea on that final third, how to convert our dominance into something more than, a little bit of luck on the day.
Absolutely. I'm sure Arteta's working on the training ground. Well, we'll finish with you, Ryan. So your overall thoughts on the performance?
Yeah, I'm just going to echo what Lewis said, really. Can't really disagree. That was, fantastic performance. Showed confidence and dominance, but again, we weren't necessarily converting the opportunities, were we? So we were lucky to have the penalty in that sense. Otherwise, it might have been 0-0. So we've just now got we're proving now that we're not perfect, but we're getting the defence slightly better. But we just now need to play a bit more attractive football and, you know, score goals. That's what we need at the end of the day. So it's a process. But one thing I was proud about Arsenal today, I was impressed with, is we had some good figures today with your parties. Even El Neni, I was surprised to even consider him like a big dominant force today. Gabriel at the back. It's like we had some lead, and obviously Aubameyang and Lacazette. We had some leaders out there, and that's something Arsenal have been lacking for years, especially when you're playing a club like Man United. So, yeah, lots to improve on, but yeah, happy with the result.
Guys, I reckon we must be good if Gary Neville's on commentary and he's praising us against Man United.
Yeah, no,
doing something right.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right, nice one. Well, thanks, guys. Well, thanks everyone for watching. If you're new to our channel, please subscribe to us. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and keep an eye out for more live streams we'll be doing in the future. Take care, guys. See you next time.